what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
U.S. Health Advisors wants you to know your health coverage does not have to be complicated. If you aren't happy with your insurance plan, there are unlimited and comprehensive medical plan options available to you right now. U.S. Health Advisors offers solutions which can't be found anywhere else. They can even offer you the ability to purchase more coverage if and when you need it. U.S. Health Advisors offers fair rates and no surprises. Sounds nice, doesn't it? If you'd like to know more, contact U.S. Health Advisors at 828-554-3032 or by email at daniel.bryant@ushadvisors.com.
Welcome to the Street Circle Drive podcast here on The Mesh. I am your co-host, Andrew Moose. With me today, my co-host, Mr. Michael McNally. What's up, buddy?
You wanted to say I'm your host, Moose,
No,
didn't you?
I'm not the host.
I felt like I heard that in your voice.
You want me to do it again?
No. I'll be your Ed McMahon. That's fine.
I'll be your Andy Richter.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Oh, man, nothing. I'm full as all get out. We really did it today.
Well, we tried to do even more.
That's right. Well, we would like to welcome all of our listeners today to the Street Circle Drive food truck episode.
Food truck, not as many as we wanted to.
No, we wanted to hit up quite a few, and we only managed to get 3.
Yes.
They were open today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that we came across. But that's part of the discussion will be
that's right.
How do you come across them, so on and so forth. But yeah, food trucks.
Food trucks today. So if you're a first-time listener, Street Circle Drive is your Hickory-centric podcast for people who love Hickory and for people who like squeaky voices.
I was thinking it. I didn't want to say it. You called yourself out.
I want to thank you guys for listening. Thanks. We couldn't do it without you. If you're interested in sponsoring our podcast or any other podcast on The Mesh, it's a great opportunity to reach a super targeted audience. It's a low cost. For any information on that, you can go to themesh.tv/advertise. There's a button on the top of the homepage there. Or you can send an email to info@themesh.tv. Just want to let you know that email does come to me, so just holler at me. I'm ready to talk to you about sponsorships. It's a really good opportunity. So, like I said earlier, today is the food truck episode, and man, we did a little scouring on the internet to try to find food trucks that were, within 10 minutes of us.
A little scouring. We were already in the car. You were like, let's see what we got going on.
That's right.
It wasn't like researched out.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, interns were on this.
No
job.
No interns were there, but
right.
So there's a few staples of food trucks that are in Hickory that just weren't available to us today, and but the ones that we did happen to go to, we went to Hickory Sandwich Shop.
Yep.
We went to their brick and mortar store. They do have a food truck.
The truck was there.
The truck was there, and they're located on Old Mill Road.
Correct.
Right there in one of the old convenience stores that are right there, but between Mel's and the Raceway.
Geithner, yeah.
Right. So without further ado, let's talk about food. Let's
do it.
What this episode is about. What'd you have today?
So today, I go down a little bit of the menu. So we walk in there. First time for me. Had you been there before?
I have not.
I didn't think so.
Maiden
voyages to this. Didn't know what we were getting into. Walk into the place. So the menu, dry erase board sitting above usually a good sign in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You can mix it up.
Menu changes every day.
Right. Classic North Carolina barbecue sandwich, smoked turkey club wrap, smoked pork roulade sandwich, chicken salad wrap, Baja chicken flatbread, meatloaf panini, which I thought was an interesting menu choice.
Now, did you eat all these? I know.
No, I'm just going through. I'm giving the listeners a little sample of what they could come to expect going and visit these fine establishments. Now, I tried the classic North Carolina barbecue sandwich. We asked the folks there what would they recommend, what were they known for, and the top 2 that she said were the classic North Carolina barbecue sandwich and the Baja chicken flatbread.
Right.
So I went with the barbecue sandwich. One, because I know you're a sissy and you don't eat pork. So I took that one for the team, which was not very hard for me to do at all.
Yeah, I was like, that's not really taking one for the team.
So the description, Hickory smoked pulled pork, slaw and pickles, served hot on a golden sandwich bun. It was pulled. It was not pulled barbecue. It was chopped.
Yeah, chopped.
Coarsely chopped. I mean, it was nice, thick chunks of it. The sauce that it was tossed in was a mix of like a little bit of like a, if you're familiar or going to grocery store, like a Carolina treat. So it kind of had that, it was a little bit of a hotter Eastern, kind of like an East meets West. It wasn't tomato based and it wasn't just a runny vinegar based. It was kind of that, a little creamier than that, but it was good. It had enough little kick to it, a little vinegar within the tomato based sauce. Came with coleslaw on it and pickles. So
on
pretty
the
straight,
that was
all on the sandwich. And
yeah.
I'm usually not a barbecue sandwich guy. Usually, it's even though there's a lot of it, it's delicate, valuable real estate space that I got to tend to make sure I get as much as I can.
Right.
This was very good. I mean, I think part of it was because it was different. Part of it, maybe just for me more than others, like I didn't have my mind set on, this is going to be a pulled pork sandwich like every other, North Carolina restaurant with the soft, hamburger buns or whatnot. I liked it because of the coarse chopped barbecue, and the sauce was really good. I mean, it wasn't too much of it. I definitely would go back and recommend that sandwich to anybody that loves barbecue, kind of, especially getting away from that true pulled pork. I mean, it said pulled,
right,
but
yeah.
I enjoyed that. I got two sides. I got their Southern potato salad.
Tell them everybody what they have for sides. Yeah.
See, you gave me a hard time about going through the menu before I said, but now you want me to go through the menu.
Yeah, I know I do. Yeah.
And it's whatever. It's your show. I'm just the co-host.
Also true.
Pan fried sweet potato salad. The description today said Southern potato salad because I asked for a description. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Baked beans, roasted Cajun corn, mac and cheese. They have a soup today. I think was some sort of chorizo soup, if I remember correctly. Yeah. A zesty macaroni salad, coleslaw, and then Mediterranean bean salad is what it's showing on their menu right now. I got the Southern potato salad and I got the mac and cheese. I'll start with the potato salad. Pretty simple. I mean, just potatoes, eggs, mustard, mayo. She said onions, but it was not. And for someone, I'm not really a huge fan of onions, but they weren't in there. If they were small. It was not even close. And they said a little bit of barbecue sauce, and it probably helped to give it a little bit of a kick. It was good. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you throw on the table at
It's potato salad.
It's potato salad. Yeah. I mean, it definitely needed some salt and pepper, which I didn't add to it. But it was good. Didn't bowl me over. It was something you throw on a table at a reunion or a tailgate, and people kind of pick at it.
Right.
Good. Now,
hold on. They're just like
this is where we had our overlap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had the Baja flatbread. I had the mac and cheese, and I also had the corn. We both had the mac and cheese.
Whew, son.
Star of the show.
I would go back there. I would go get a pint of that. My kids would bear wrestle for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's what you go back for.
I don't know what kind of noodle it was, but it had all sort, like we were talking about, nooks and crannies. It was some sort I've never even
It was like
seen
some spiral type noodle.
Spiral, but it was a tight spiral noodle, and it was I'd say more of like a white cheddar or white cheese.
There was probably a few cheeses in there. I mean,
it might have been.
It was some gourmet nonsense. It was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Totally would sell that for the side. Totally would go there just to get some of that to take home. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself going there and picking up a quart of that stuff to take to a tailgate or something like that. I know we said that this was a food truck episode, but Hickory Sandwich Shop does have brick and mortar, and we went in there to eat because I didn't have the food truck running or whatever. But it was outside. The Baja flatbread sandwich that I had grilled chicken, cheese, this aioli chipotle type sauce, lettuce on this really cooked well like toasted flatbread. It was really good. It was a little too saucy for me, but it's
a lot of that aioli.
Yeah, a lot of sauce, but it was good. I'm not gonna kick it out of bed. It was great. I mean, don't get me wrong. The corn was good too. So overall, I thought that the Hickory Sandwich Shop really had some really good stuff on their menu, and they did well.
And I think the menu's the same on the truck. We asked them about the truck, so it's not a roving truck that you would find wherever. They do events. They could be called out to events, but that's what the truck is. It's not one that moves around like some other ones that we'll probably talk about or that we've heard or seen. So you know, if you want to go see them during the day, the good thing is, like, people have the struggle finding where a food truck is. This has a brick and mortar, and then they have the food truck that goes out and about. And I think we'll see more of that as time goes. But knowing that that's an option, you know, that was my first foray to go into that restaurant. It was an interesting ambiance in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Like you said, former convenience store had, you know, former gas pumps out in the back or the front. Sorry. We went in there, had that corrugated metal guards like around. For some reason, the collection of at least 1,000 DVDs.
I mean, I think that's
wall.
low. I think that's low. It looked like Blockbuster Video up in there.
Yeah.
Like it was. They had just stacks of DVDs. I don't know where they're going with that. If they sell them or
no
what.
telling.
But it was just odd walking in there to see that. But you know, we weren't in there to watch movies. We were in there to eat sandwiches. So it was didn't bother me much. But,
it was good.
So. You know, real quick, what if you had to give it a grade, what would you give it? Because you have to give it.
Out of a normal scale for a normal person of 10, I'd probably give it a 7.
Okay.
Again, especially if wrapping my mind around it being a food truck.
Yeah.
You know, now the sit down, the restaurant itself. You know, it's kind of, we talked about, it's a little dark, just in lighting.
Yeah.
It was an interesting setup. Like.
Yeah, food alone.
Food alone. And imagine it, you know, kind of bringing that extra element with it being a food truck. There's just something about eating at a food truck that just kind of takes it up a notch anyway. I'd give it a 7. I definitely would go back and get the barbecue sandwich and the mac and cheese again.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
I'm kind of in that same that same range. It might be a little bit higher. Maybe
what is that on your scale?
5.9 out of 7, something like that. You can do the math for folks while I'm talking. But you know, I'm definitely going to go back for the mac and cheese. I think I'd go back for that flatbread sandwich.
That's an 84.2.
Yeah, I mean 8.4. So 8.4 out of 10 on a regular human being scale.
Yeah.
So you know that's a high score in our book. You know, 7s and 8s is high, and. I think that they just with a little fine tuning, that place could knock it out of the park. I do see, you know, I would like to see that truck rolling around Hickory.
It would be cool.
So, which kind of brings us to our next point. We'll kind of segue into our next stop. But, you know, there's been a lot of grumbling in Hickory about where are the food trucks? Yeah. Like, what's going on? Like, why aren't there any food trucks? You know, there's a food truck rally that gets put on by Home Builders Association. It's in the Ferguson parking lot. I think it's like twice a year or something like that.
2 months ago was the most recent one, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was last month, something like that. But, that's September for those listening next month or whatever. But there's, you know, I think that thing's well attended. I don't know if food trucks are seeing Hickory as a viable market. I mean, am I wrong on that or what?
Well, and again, I don't see them that often. I hear about some.
Yeah.
I really just hate social media, so I know a lot of them market through social media, whether it's Facebook or whatnot. I mean, good luck finding a website, but a lot of them will share where they are.
Sure.
So you've already got
it's imperative to their business to be active.
You got to be in the know, but then it's not like, you know, you got to be in the know for a food truck to then follow that food truck. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's this general, and I think there might be a general location to find where some of these are. I don't know if they're sporadic because you and I were talking about this earlier. There's not that true. I mean, there's a central business district of downtown, but our businesses and our foot traffic in our counts are spread out.
Right.
So really, is it easier to go to the same spot all the time? Is it easier to move around? One that I haven't been to yet, but I hear a lot, and they do a pretty good job marketing, Taco About It.
Yeah.
I know they cover the uniform within your typical work week. If I'm not mistaken, they typically are in Hickory at the PetSmart parking lot on Fridays.
Right. They travel. I mean, they're in the uniform.
So,
they go
I might know.
They're spreading the wealth out there.
All right, good. If I want to go there on a Friday, either got to be in the know, got to go to PetSmart. If I'm jonesing forward on today, I would have had to drive to Lenore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go to one of our wonderful restaurants here today on one of those. So I don't know if, you know, is it just a density? Is it a location? Do you need to be where a lot of, you know, employment, whether that's, your manufacturing cluster is of spots or a downtown area with building. I don't know.
But there was some backlash from the city a couple years ago about not having food trucks or whatever. And the city, to their credit, actually, and you can find all this information on HickoryNC.gov/food trucks or something like that. They've actually zoned, I don't want to say zone, but they have permitted food truck locations, I'll say. And it's all over downtown. And it looks like if the food trucks really wanted to make an impact on downtown Hickory, let me just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So at any one point on this map that I'm looking at on their website, the city of Hickory could have 10 food trucks downtown.
Now, 2 of those spots I think were in the city of Hickory parking lot across from downtown or City Hall. That's now being
I didn't even think about it. Okay, so that was 3. So that would take up actually 3 food trucks. So now,
not that they were used,
right? Not that they're being used, right? So there's 7 spots where food trucks could be just in the downtown area. So if you're a food truck owner and you don't know how to get a permit, or if there's some sort of barrier to entry on that, or just misinformation, you can go to HickoryNC.gov / food truck information, and you can find everything on there about how to get a permit and what you need, background checks and all that good stuff. So, so if you're a food truck interested, we'd love to have you downtown. So come on.
Yeah.
So
we need more of them.
We went to one place because we were doing it for the people. We went to the second place was called.
Oh, you want me to say
I
it?
do,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's Taco Nan.
Taco Nan, okay.
That's how it's at least spelled. Located on Springs Road, right at I think it's something Universal Rentals. It's across from the Pelican Snowball place. Where if you have kids, I'm sure you know where that is on Springs Road. So we thought, well, we're going to go make a food truck episode. Let's go have a second lunch.
Yeah, because we honestly, we only ate half of our food at the Hickory Sandwich Shop just because we were going to go to a few different places today, and lo and behold,
they're closed on Sunday and Wednesday.
Yep.
So we walked to the place, so that counts for something. Got some exercise to burn off some of the calories from the first spot.
Walked the 20 steps from the car to the trailer.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell them how many. So we did try to go there. I drive by that area every once in a while, and there are usually crowds. I just didn't know, and it didn't give the information that I saw. It said closed, opens at 11, but then didn't give the hours of being closed on Monday and Wednesday.
Sure.
So we missed out on that. I am sure that's a place we will check out sometime in the future.
I'm sure, and we are notoriously known for going to holes in the wall, then ended up being just splat delicious. Hickory Sandwich Shop was one of them.
Yep.
And if we're going on decor and ambiance, this place was a rundown yellow Mexican food trailer. I bet it's delicious. It's going to be good.
Excited about trying it.
Yeah,
just the pictures that they have on their Facebook site do make it look like it would be a worthwhile trip.
Oh, 100%. However, we
were not going to let that defeat us.
We were not going to let it defeat us. You're absolutely correct on that. So a lot of you Hickoryites out there will be.
It's an OG Hickory food truck.
It is. OG being maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Well, that's okay. You talked about how few we have right now, so it is an OG.
This is OG for life. Then Granny's Old Fashioned Donuts, and those.
First visit, yours? You've been there.
My second visit, yeah. Man. Y'all, that place is it's out of bounds.
So a couple years ago, I remember it when it kind of came on the scene. They're out of Taylorsville.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of came on the scene. They'd be in Viewmont, and I remember there being just this mad rush and buzz around it.
They were causing traffic accidents out there outside.
And some serious, they were, like you said, the Haymarket.
Yeah, the Haymarket and that little produce shop right there on Highway 127 in Viewmont was causing traffic backups.
Yes. So there was a lot of buzz around them at that point that has carried over. And I haven't seen them in the Viewmont area for a while. I don't know where they move around to when they do move. But today they were at the PetSmart parking lot by the Home Depot, getting there off of LR Boulevard. So we had to go get dessert. So we went to the Granny's Old Fashioned. Today, if I'm not, all of them today, I don't know if they've done this before, if there's something they do on a regular basis. So today was apple cider donuts.
Right.
So there wasn't a choice because you even asked, like, well, I want an apple cider one. They're like, all of them are. So, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, pick one or the other. I mean, I guess when they're all in, they're all in.
Sure.
This is not Burger King, have it your way. It's a little bit of a soup Nazi. Like, you take your donut however we make it today, and you enjoy it, which is not a problem, by the way.
There's large as your head.
Yeah, they are, and I've got a large. They are ample size. $3 a donut. So not. I mean, it's a bit of a destination, and a bit of a premium on that.
Right.
But it was good. It was real good, and I was sitting there wondering. Part of the reason I think you asked is because you can't tell the difference in the donut. So inside when you ate it, you could see the cinnamon. The thing I liked about it is it had that apple cider kind of feel. It was not at all overwhelming. It was just enough to really enjoy it, not be overwhelmed, but not taste it at all. It was a perfect balance of all that. We went there. They had just pulled them out of the vat, iced them. Yeah,
and they hang them to let the excess icing drip off of them, and it's just just so
crisp outside.
Gosh,
like you look at them, like, are they too done? They look, they got the little crisp on the. They're still soft as they can be. It took this long for me to finally get one. It was absolutely worth it.
Absolutely worth the wait. It was, and I believe it's a family. I believe it's a family out of Taylorsville that runs this trailer, and it is. I mean, you could tell, man, they're made with love. I mean,
Granny had it going on.
Granny did have it going on. If that's Granny's recipe, she knew what was up for sure. But I mean, is there enough? I mean, is there a scale high enough for Granny's Old Fashioned Donuts?
I mean, I'll say this, but at the same time, it's part of the allure. Again, one style. So this is not like going to even Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' or even like a local donut life. You're not sitting there getting filled or Bear Claws or anything like that. This is one size fits all. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10.
I think that's low. This is for those that know me personally. Donuts are one of my favorite food on the planet. How dare you? One of my favorite foods on the planet. Krispy Kreme, really good. Donut Life, really good. Man, Granny's knocks it. I mean, it's 8 out of 7 for me. I mean, those girls got it going on. Just how fresh they are. I mean, they're from the time they fry those things and dunk them in icing and hang them up to the time they get them in your hand is no time. I mean, it's hot. The hot light is never not on in that trailer, right? So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So I all the kudos to Granny's Old Fashioned Donuts. It's going to be fantastic. Now,
that was not my last visit there. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely not. I mean, we're driving all over Hickory to get to this point for sure, and it's great. You know where you can find other food vendors that are just as good as that? Hickory's Oktoberfest. It's going on this weekend.
Nice seg.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I've been working on those.
You're a pro.
October 11th, 12th, and 13th. If you are listening to the podcast,
it's always the second weekend.
It's always.
Generally. I guess I don't want to say always.
I don't know. Usually, it usually coincides with LR's homecoming. It didn't this year,
right?
But the Hickory's Oktoberfest is going to have 3 or 4 stages of music, a bourbon tasting tent this year.
Yeah, brand new.
They're going to
be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And that's not free to enter. So I think it's $15 to get in there. So that'll weed out some of the
probably not enough
deplorables.
Yeah. So I can't go, obviously.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, it's going to be a really good time. I think that the Oktoberfest coordinators and all that stuff have got it figured out. We're gonna. It's going to be a good time. I think the music lineup's going to be really good. The food's.
Are you saying that because you're in it?
You're right.
Yeah.
Moose and Friends is playing the Pavilion Tent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saturday 3:30. But there's a lot of really good music that's coming this year. Artemis Pyle Band, one of the sole surviving members of the Leonard Skinner plane crash He was in that plane crash. He is going to be playing with his band out there. Dreams, the Allman Brothers tribute band, led by Jonathan Birchfield, is going to be there. Kurt Louder and Smoking Hot. There's going to be a bunch of really good bands out there that'll be worth the trip. You know, there's all kinds of rides for the kids. There's going to be Jerry Crafts, all kinds of vendors and
funnel cakes.
Yeah. Oh man, chicken on a stick. That's my favorite.
Sausages.
So I'm coordinating
everything.
the pavilion tent this year, right?
Oh, okay.
Over 5 chicken on sticks I'm going to eat all weekend because I'm going to be there. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, Friday at 3:00 till basically Sunday at 5 p.m.
Sounds like a blast,
dude. I'm going to eat my weight in chicken on a stick. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun.
Makes me
it's
sick thinking about it.
Oh man, I love chicken on a stick. That's one of my top 5 favorite foods.
Okay,
chicken thighs on a stick.
Is it its own food? It's chicken. You don't eat the stick.
Thighs. It's chicken thighs.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, comes in that foil, you know.
Okay, yeah, I've never had chicken on a stick, so
I'm sorry.
I've had chicken though. I'm sure it's
friends?
the same.
Yeah, no, you've had chicken.
I've had chicken.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's marinated chicken thighs that are grilled on a wooden skewer, and I'd eat it 3 meals a day. Really would.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else is new in your world, McNally?
Not much. Living the dream. Been going to some LR Bears games.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There's
you know,
a
I
segue.
think I said that.
Yeah.
We joined the Bears Club this year.
Same,
Shout out to LR, to
Powerful Aaron Bessie.
Aaron Bessie, the man himself, who's a friend and former guest on this wonderful podcast. A lot of awesome things going. The timing was great to join. Not only are they a great football team that's steamrolling opponents and hopefully on the way to a national title, brand new McGahee Performance Center and Bears Club Pavilion for pregame, during game, entertainment, food, networking, whatever you socializing. It's awesome.
All the
It's
above.
a great facility. So always had an awesome tailgate scene. That parking lot, the practice field parking lot. It's one of a kind. You're right there next to the stadium.
I dare say it's the best environment in D2 football.
We should go on the road show and get.
I mean,
what are the top 5? I'd love to even compare it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I've had friends that actually lived in Westchester, where Westchester University is in Pennsylvania. Their tailgate scene it and close to what, and they've got a really good football program. They're ranked pretty good, pretty high up there, and that'll touch that what LR is doing right now. And what's awesome about it is that and you're a prime example of this point I'm getting ready to make. LR and the Bears Club specifically has really reached out to the community that might not necessarily have had LR ties before, and have brought them into the fold. So it's now basically your community. It's Hickory's
team.
It's Hickory's team. It's it's community building. It's all that,
yeah.
And you can really tell it. And good football brings a lot of people in.
I mean, if you're anywhere around this area, I challenge you to walk to a game, to the tailgate, and not run into somebody that you know.
Right. Yeah. So I got to the game late at homecoming this past weekend, and I'll just tell you what kind of a scene it is out there for those that are familiar with the area. I came in basically an hour after the game started, and I was looking for a place to park. And I started driving around campus, and the closest place that I could find to park was across 127. So I actually had to go home, and I got a lift to take me from my house to the tailgate. So I mean, that's how crazy it is these days. So
Hickory's lone Lyft driver came and got you.
That all one of them.
All one of them.
Yeah, Kevin. Shout out to Power.
Hopefully, Kevin got a good rating.
Yeah,
we need to make sure he stays in town. In business.
I gave him $5. Hopefully, he does. So one point I want to make before we wrap this thing up. Hickory, let's talk about why you're not voting.
All right, context.
Context. Okay, so this past Tuesday was the primary for wards 1, 2, and 3. If you
following 3 weeks of
following 3 weeks of early voting, the general election for the city council race is the
November
first
5th.
Tuesday of
November 5th.
November 5th. And if you lived in wards 1, 2, or 3, you were voting for your top couple candidates to basically go into the to the general. So it was bad. The turnout was not good.
Right.
It was under 7%.
Okay.
Of
eligible voters.
Of eligible voters, it was like 7%.
Yep.
There was actually a tie
of
2 people running. I believe it was in Ward 3.
Uh-huh.
Tied at 16 votes apiece.
16 votes. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like I don't even, a fraternity or sorority voting on who should be the social chair. It's a heated battle of a tie of 16.
We don't ever really. I mean, we do have some folks that are in the political sphere that come in and talk on the podcast, but we don't really get real political either way, just because this is not the podcast for it. But I will say this: your tax dollars are being spent by these city council folks. They're making decisions where your money's going. They're making decisions on what happens in the city. And with 7% of the people voting, just even in the primary, like I really, really hope that they mean people who didn't vote, take the opportunity to vote on November 5th, because those folks really do make key decisions in our community. And it's very important that you have the folks that you want representing you, because you can't complain on Facebook unless you vote. And I know.
First of all, that is an absolutely incorrect statement.
Oh, wait.
You complain more.
Wait, you can. Oh, my bad.
Right.
My bad on that.
Well, here's part of my thing. I'll be honest. I'm in Ward 2, and I did not go vote in the primary.
How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, shun me as I should be run out of the country. Here's part of it. And I've read an article, because early on there was a Hickory Daily Record article talking about the low numbers of early voting folks. At that time, it's probably another 10 days ago. It might have been midway through the early. A couple hundred people had gone at that point. You just said the numbers we had.
Yeah,
1,800 folks maybe came? Not even?
Oh, no. It was
total?
800 out of 13,000 or something like that. Ish.
So part of it for me was, and they said, they even asked the current candidates about our election process with have a primary to whittle it down to 2. I get that. You want to have somebody needs to come away with a majority.
Right.
So they want a winner to have 50%, not be the most out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
It creates confusion. I think to me, part of doing that beforehand is you're created a solution to a problem that you don't even know exists. Of how do you know somebody's not going to get 50? And if that's the case, then you have a runoff with the top 2. Could save a lot of energy and effort. Now, I will admit, looking at these numbers, your runoff numbers probably wouldn't be as high as the general, but I bet they'd be higher than an early election.
Yeah.
For me, I know of several of the people that were running. There's a little bit, hey, they're going to spend your tax dollars. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think there's a lot of just talk of, well, I'm going to do X. Well, you get behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. Really? Are you?
Are you?
Can you? Is that going to happen? You're going to walk in with your outline of a plan and say, here we go, City of Hickory.
Yep, they voted for me. This is what we're doing.
You are presented with situations as they arise, and they're all unique. Now, with that said, that is a lame excuse for not going out and voting. I'll admit that, but what are the differences? Like, what kind of questions can they answer ahead of time? It's like, really, you're kind of guessing, and I guess my apathetic attitude towards, like, all right, I'll just go and vote between the 2 because I don't see a huge difference between the 3. So,
right,
if I'm going to spend the time, let me just then go between the 2 and figure that out.
Right.
Again, I will be the first to admit it's a lame excuse. It's not one that I would want folks to have if it was me running. It's not one I would want to express to my children as far as their responsibility, but it's just, it also doesn't help that we have a pretty apathetic nature on this polarizing political spectrum and world that we live in right now. That's and then you whittle that down to the city local level. And I'm glad we don't have that glaring polarizing aspect from our folks, but then it almost, because there's not, you get a little bit of apathy.
Right. So for those that are wondering, well, who won? Like, what's going on? Well, here's the results from last night. In Ward 1, for Alderman, the candidates were Tony Wood, Carmen Eckert, and Dustin Strickland.
And this was a no incumbent ward.
That's correct. That's correct. And of those three, Tony Wood and Carmen Eckert both received the most votes, 142 and 77 respectively. So both of those are going to move on to the general. In Ward 2, Charlotte Williams, friend of the program, won that race against Ernie Mash and Lou Wetmore. Ernie Mash, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I apologize, but I believe that's how it is. The counts were 246, 165, and 128. Lou gets bounced out of that, and Charlotte and Ernie will be in the running off in the general. However, here we go. Here's the exciting part. I don't know if anybody's seen this. In Ward 3, there was a tie.
Out of three candidates.
Out of three candidates, there was a tie. There was only a handful of votes cast. It was, 32 and 28. What was that? 80. No, what was that? 32 and 28. That's 60 votes. So 60 votes total. Danny Seaver did win at 28. He received 28 votes.
He's a long-time incumbent.
Long-time incumbent. Nathan Hefner and Daria Jackson, again, I apologize if I mispronounce her name, both received 16 votes. They're saying they're going to do a coin flip.
A coin flip.
A coin flip.
Like this is some Friday Night Lights, who's getting into the state Texas high school playoffs.
I reckon.
I'm shocked that's... So we have this primary, and I sit there and talk about apathy, and every vote counts. Yeah, until it's a coin flip. We could have just done this from the get-go and saved the taxpayer dollars from having a primary.
Yeah, that's right. So, or there's 32 people really want their voice heard.
Got heard, coin flip. Better get a two-headed coin.
Right. So anyway, that's what's happening in Hickory City politics. Again, folks, go get yourself educated on these candidates. You can go find what their platforms are through social media, through their websites, et cetera, et cetera. I'm looking at the Hickory Daily Record news article from today, which is October 9th. So if you want to see those results, it's there. So anyway, that was your food truck episode here on Street Circle Drive. McNally.
Just a little random episode.
But random.
Yeah.
But, no guests. We decided that what a better podcast than going to go seek out some food trucks that were...
I don't need a podcast to do that, but yes, it was good. Good opportunity.
Was a good opportunity. So, so we'd like to thank our sponsor, Dan Bryant with U.S. Health Advisors. We appreciate Dan sponsoring the podcast. And if you or your company would like to sponsor the podcast, your ad might go here. It could go in the front of the podcast. But like I said earlier, it's a great way to reach a targeted audience. It's super low cost. For more information, you can go to themesh.tv/advertise. Or send an email to info@themesh.tv.
I think you should get our advertisers' logos tattooed on you.
On me? Yeah. I don't have a tattoo. That would be
no. That's why you should. That's just an extra level of customer service.
I mean, what would honestly? I would do it for a $5,000 sponsorship to the Mesh. I would get a very small tattoo.
I was about to say, where does the tattoo have to be?
I would get a very small tattoo on my rear end for $5,000. $5,000 sponsorship for the Mesh right now. So if you want to see that, we could live stream.
That's not even you getting that money, by the way.
Oh, I know. That's fine. That's how dedicated I am to this podcast network.
All right.
You know why?
Because it's your job.
Because I care about you, McNally. I just want to hang out with you every couple of weeks and eat lunch with you.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, but we appreciate everyone listening to Street Circle Drive here on the Mesh Podcast Network. You can catch all of our podcasts on themesh.tv or all of the other podcast platforms you may think of. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all that good stuff. McNally, thanks again, man.
No, thank you. It's been an honor being a co-host for you.
Thank you for being my co-host.
Or your understudy, your sous chef, whatever.
Sous chef?
Yeah, your sous host.
Sous host. Mm-hmm. I like it. All right. Well, guys, thanks again. Tune in next week. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. McNally?
Vote where you live.
been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.